Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Wanted to come at you with another just quick content video talking about one of my gun builds that I did here in the state of California. We don't get the luxury of being able to purchase any gun that we want, which is probably a good thing for my bank account, but it's also a bad thing, and I'll get into that. Luckily, so many more guns have been put on the California roster, which has been a big win for us. But one specific gun that I purchased because I love the ecosystem of that gun, is the Beretta M9A1. We are clear. And I purchased this gun 2 years ago, maybe. I can't remember. It's just been so much fun shooting, I can't remember. This is the Beretta M9A1, California compliant. Once I purchased this gun, I then started doing even more research about the firearm, and I quickly learned that there was this gunsmith out in Arizona. His name is Ernest Langdon, and he was creating these pretty sweet Beretta pistols, the LTT RDO slides. They had suppressor height sights, so you could co-witness with the red dot. And I had some serious FOMO, and I thought, hey, I'm going to build one. So this isn't stock, but pretty much this is how it looked, except with the stock trigger, the stock hammer. There was no magazine well, there was just a lanyard loop. So this is kind of how it started, and then I started doing some research online, started finding the parts, and this is how it looks today. So what parts do I have? Well, I've got the, again, Volker Precision magazine well. I've got the Volker Precision trigger. I took out the standard, we'll call it trigger assembly, and I installed the Langdon Tactical Trigger job in a bag. Highly recommend it if you have the budget. If you were going to work on anything on your firearm, that would be the first thing I would change. Then I was able to talk to BlackBeard Customs, and I purchased this Queen Anne's Revenge ported barrel. I think that's what it's called. This keeps the slide incredibly flat. And then I purchased from BlackBeard Customs this slide. So this is an LTT slide that then BlackBeard Customs did his pretty cool Cerakote work on. So I basically made my own Langdon Tactical. I call it my FrankenTactical or my Langdonstein firearm. Absolutely love this gun. This is the setup that I use for going to the range. I don't use this for home defense because I don't have suppressor height sights. So if something goes bump in the night, I don't want this dot to fail and then not have my iron sights. So for home defense, I use the standard slide. And then for just fun time at the range, I put on my Langdon Tactical slide, and then I also have, I believe I got this from Wilson Combat, the metal guide rod. So if you have the budget, I highly recommend it. This is what I would call your California compliant Langdon Tactical firearm. The trigger is an absolute dream, and with the lighter pound recoil spring and trigger assembly spring and hammer spring, so much fun to fire. Now, if you do end up getting this slide, I got it from BlackBeard Customs, and a couple things to know is it doesn't come with the screws. These screws in the optic are not your standard Holosun screws that come in the box. They are much thinner, and you've got to go to the Langdon Tactical website, because I found these on some screw supplier, an industrial wholesale screw supplier, and I'd have to buy 200. Didn't want to do that. So I went onto the Langdon Tactical website. I only ordered 2. I should have ordered 4 or 6. And the reason for that is I didn't read the instructions. So a 5-minute project later turned into a 2-hour project, and I'll get into that. So I didn't read the torque specs. I over torqued on my Holosun 507 comp. I went to the range, did about 500 rounds. And then all of a sudden, after I'd zeroed the dot, I'm noticing my shot placements all over the place. So I did the old-fashioned wiggle test, and my optic was loose. Now, this is the 3rd time it's happened on all my dots. Now, the other 2 dots I've got a Crimson Trace and I've got a Holosun EPS carry. I have Loctited the screws. I have followed all the instructions. I've let them sit. First time I go to the range, they always come loose. I don't know what it is. But then the second time is the charm. So I came home and I thought that was the problem. I removed both screws, put in some Loctite, cranked them down, didn't read the instructions, and I snapped the right screw, which is a total pain in the ass because you actually have to remove this plate And then there's another part, I think it's called like the T-bolt, which the screw was completely embedded in and there was nothing I could do to get it out. So I had to go to the Langdon Tactical website. I had to purchase more screws and more bolts. This time I ordered 2 or 3 more than I needed. When that part came in, I had to hammer out the T-bolt screw, which was much harder than I thought it would be. Put in the bolts, put in the screws, and I Loctited the shit out of this, which I'm kind of regretting now because now my G-style decocker doesn't decock right away. So that's a me problem, not a Langdon Tactical problem. So I'm going to probably WD-40 the hell out of that to get it to work. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video about this firearm. It is possible to do, let's say, a Langdon Tactical gun. Again, my FrankenTactical, my Frankenstein gun. If you have the budget, go for it. I would say if you're going to build one out, start with the trigger, and then you can go for the slide. The ports, that's just a nice to have, not necessary. But yeah, if you're watching this video, thank you so much. If you have any questions about the build of this firearm, feel free to write anything in the comments. If you like this video, let me know, and I'm happy to make some more. So yeah, have a great day, everyone.